Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's May and today we're going to be talking about NIGHTWISH's very first album, Angels Fall First. So if you are new here, I am going to be going through all of NIGHTWISH's discography. I just finished doing all of Taria's solo albums and now we're doing NIGHTWISH. I know my makeup doesn't look good, but I tried okay. I tried to imitate the cover because it has the orange and the pink and the purple, like the little sunrise we've got going on the cover. I tried. I know it doesn't look very good, but I tried. Yeah, so I'm going to start out with some background about just kind of how the band came together and how this album came to be, just because this is the very beginning. And I am just gonna say that these first 5 NIGHTWISH albums are, in my opinion, like the epitome of music. I am one of those people that prefers the old NIGHTWISH. I still listen to them, I still love what they've done after Taria, and I like her solo albums as well, but to me this was the best. So, just thought I'd put that out there. Just the way the music and her voice worked together was perfect. And I was only 7 when End of an Era happened, so I can't really be mad at myself that I never got to see them. I am just sad that I missed, you know, that era of the band, because in my opinion it was the best. I know everyone has their own opinions. Some people prefer different singers, different eras, and that's cool. I love that the band they've evolved so much and there's so many different types of songs that there's really something for everyone. There's so many different kinds of sounds that they've gone through, and even in each album there's, you know, so many different kinds of sounds going on. But yeah, that's just my opinion. Let's get into it. So this was their debut album. It was released in 1977. There are 12 tracks and then 4 bonus tracks. And this album is really unique compared to their other albums because it was the only one that had kind of that acoustic feel to it, because that's how they started out. And we also get Tuomas singing, which I found really entertaining. It was originally going to be an acoustic project. Tuomas, Empu, and Yuka were all into metal music, but NIGHTWISH was originally going to be acoustic. Tuomas wrote NIGHTWISH, Forever Moments, and I'm gonna butcher the pronunciation on this, but Etiainen? I don't know. That one. That is a Finnish name. As the first 3 songs, and they did a demo with those first songs. Tuomas and Yuka were friends and Empu joined them, and then Tuomas had known Taria since they were 13 from music school, and they had like sung in the same jazz band at some point, so then she had gone off to study singing. They didn't know each other very well, but he knew that she sang, so he asked her to sing on the demo. So they did those 3 songs, and they were all shocked when they heard her voice for the first time about how like powerful it was and how classical sounding it was. And that is part of the reason why they ended up going more metal, because they wanted the instruments to support her voice versus on the acoustic ones. And they all, like I said, had like that metal interest and metal background. So they sent out this 3-song demo, and they'd never got a reply from any record companies, but they got a review in Soundy magazine that said that they didn't have any commercial potential, and that is always like referred back to as like how funny it was that I got that review at the very beginning. And then when Tuomas got out of the army, they did a 7-song demo. And okay, I'm gonna hopefully tell the story right. By the way, this information's all from their End of Innocence documentary and the Once Upon a NIGHTWISH book, and I will link them in the description. So Tuomas went on tour with his other band. I'm not gonna try to pronounce the name of it. He was part of another band before he started NIGHTWISH, and he was on the road with them. And like a talent scout person, I guess, someone who listened to demos for Spine Farm Records, was with them. And he had this box of demos that he was supposed to be listening to, so they'd listen to them in the tour bus. After 20 seconds, if they didn't like it, they'd throw it out the window. And Tuomas was finally convinced to share the NIGHTWISH demo with him, even though he was like super nervous, and that's how they got the record deal. I would have been nervous too if he was throwing other ones out the window. It's actually really funny, like that part in the book. Anyway, so that is how they landed their first record deal, and that's the story of how it started. So let's get into the music here. The first track is Elvenpath, and this is one of the more metal sounding ones. I can't listen to the song without laughing. That's true for some of the songs on this album. It's just they're like comical. I don't know if anyone else feels that way, but just because of Tari's pronunciation in this song, there's like a misheard lyrics that's really funny where it's like Elvenpath, because that's what it sounds like, and the mighty swords. It's hilarious. The lyrics give off this vibe of being whisked away to a magical world. Most of the lyrics are talking about kind of like this journey, and then at the end it says, as I return to my room and a sleep takes me by my hand, madrigals from the woods carry me to Neverland. So it's like returning back to sleep, like this was a dream or just some kind of fantastical journey. And there are some Lord of the Rings references. You know, Thomas loves Lord of the Rings, Beauty and the Beast, and references to Finnish mythology, and I found this on Genius Lyrics. Track 2 is Beauty and the Beast. I love this song. I love Elvenpath too. That was definitely one that stuck with me, like on the first couple times I listened to this album. This is also one of the more upbeat ones. Clearly it's a Disney reference. Thomas loves Disney. Thomas sings in this one. He sings the Beast part, and Tarja sings Belle's part. Remember the first dance we shared, recall the night you melted my ugliness away, the night you left with a kiss so kind, only a scent of beauty left behind. And then Belle says, dear friend, I remember the night, the moon, and the dreams we shared, your trembling paw in my hand, dreaming of that northern land, touching you with the kiss of the beast. And then, I know my dreams are made of you, and only for you. Your ocean pulls me under, your voice tears me asunder, love me before the last petal falls. I love those lyrics. And it reminds me a little bit of the lyrics in Feel For You, which is much later, but in that song when it says, this one is for you, only for you. Like here, I know my dreams are made of you, and only for you. Little connection there, I think. Anyway, so then it goes on, but that's basically the essence of it. Is just basically him putting more of a story to Beauty and the Beast. I love how in this song you can kind of hear the beginnings of their sound that comes later. I feel like this is kind of the first song that has multiple parts, which becomes such a characteristic of Nightwish. Later, Thomas loves writing those like really long epic songs like Ghost Love Score and then Beauty of the Beast too. Songs like that, I feel like this is kind of the first one of those. The transition out of that first fast part with the drums and guitars is very characteristic of their future ballads. But yeah, there's a fast part and then a slow part, and then it picks back up again with the keyboards and then the drums and then the guitars. Yeah, I just think that it's kind of their blueprint, I guess. And then track 3 is The Carpenter. Thomas also sings in this one. And it seems to be a reference to Jesus Christ. I looked on song meanings for most of these to see like what other people were saying about them. To be honest, I never really even thought about the lyrics on this album, really any of the first 3 albums, but it'll be a fun trip to actually read the lyrics because I can't understand what Tarja is saying half the time, and I actually think it's fun to jam out to them. Anyway, someone said that Thomas said in an interview that it wasn't about Jesus Christ and it was supposed to be about the guy in the music video who was making the wings, but I couldn't find that interview, and everyone else thinks that it's about Jesus Christ, and the lyrics clearly point to that too. So, I don't know. You can argue if you want, but to me it clearly points to that. And it seems to be just a song of curiosity kind of about his life, like saying, who are you? Man condemned to shine a salvation throughout the centuries. Why was the wine of the Grail too sour for man to drink? And calling him the carpenter, like bringing it back to like his trade. It's just kind of an interesting perspective to take. But yeah, to me it clearly points to that. Lay the tools of the one for who us has died. Tools of the carpenter. That's Jesus. Okay. I hear you through the symphonic voices of nature, the purity I could never doubt. They tell me to lie on the grass and observe my Savior, the one crucified to the chirping of birds. So kind of thinking about how he still lives on. Thomas just thinking about his life, I guess. The bridge to this kind of had a similar tune to Angels Fall First. Again, I'm not gonna sing in these videos, but I just noticed that was like a little bit of a musical connection between this and that song. And yeah, just overall it seems to be curiosity about Jesus' life and who he was as a person. And then track 4 is Astral Romance, which is another heavier song. It's really hard to make out the lyrics, so I kind of just relied on what other people said for this. People kind of had different interpretations, but the main thing I got is that it's about 2 lovers who can only be together in death. Someone said that it sounds like they committed suicide to be together. I don't know about that, but it does sound like it's 2 people who can't be together. The distance of our bridal bed, await for me to be dead. Dust of the galaxies take my hand, lead me to my beloved's land. But it sounds like maybe one of them's already dead and the other one is maybe killing themselves to be with them, I'm not sure. But yeah, interesting song. And then track 5 is Angels Fall First, which is probably my favorite one. Well, it's my favorite slow one, we'll say that, from this album. Definitely up there with my all-time favorite songs of Nightwish, and this is really that acoustic sound. It's so beautiful, and it's very different from their other ballads, I feel like. But yeah, this one just really stuck with me. I can't find like a definitive person that it's about, but it very clearly seems to be about like maybe one of Tuomas's friends who died. If it is from like his point of view, I think most of these songs are, you know, supposed to be personal, but the lyrics are an angel face smiles to me under a headline of tragedy. So sounds like an obituary in like a newspaper. That smile used to give me warmth. Farewell, no words to say beside the cross on your grave and those forever burning candles needed elsewhere to remind us of the shortness of our time. So yeah, it just sounds like someone who died young maybe, because like the angels fall first part. Yeah, this song is just so beautiful. If anyone knows like specifically who this was about, I couldn't find it, but that's what I got from it. And then at the end, it says, yesterday we shook hands, my friend, today a moonbeam lightens my path, my guardian. With that, I really get the feeling of like, when this hasn't happened very frequently in my life, but whenever someone dies suddenly, you just get this feeling of that they were just there. Like yesterday, I was just with them, like we were just working together or whatever. So I feel like that's what the yesterday we shook hands is connecting to. And then today, a moonbeam lightens my path, my guardians, like showing that they're still with you, that they'll always be with you, lighting your way, looking out for you. That's what it seems like. Track 6 is Toon, which is my favorite upbeat song from this album. This is a banger. Some of these songs, like you can definitely hear like how Nightwish has improved, like this is kind of how they started out and they got so much better, but this one I feel like is really, really strong. The first time I heard it, I was just like, immediate banger. Like the keyboard part is so epic. When I listen to it, it's really more about like the instrumentals than the vocals and the lyrics, but I just think it's such a banger. It's super fun to dance to. Highly recommend. Then track 7 is Nymphomaniac Fantasia. And this one cracks me up. I cannot listen to the song without laughing. It starts out with, the scent of a woman was not mine. And in the end of Innocence documentary, Tuomas is like looking back on this and he's laughing and he's like, yeah, I stand by every lyric I've ever written except that one. He's like, how can you start a song like that? But I think it's funny. And in terms of what it's about, it seems to be, again, people have like kind of different interpretations, but saying the scent of a woman was not mine is like this girl's boyfriend, husband comes home and she smells another woman on him, and from the lyrics it basically seems like he's been unfaithful, so we're gonna do it one more time before she castrates him. That's what it sounds like. Yeah, read lyrics, make of that what you will. And then track 8 is I Know Why the Nightingale Sings. This one's really pretty. I really dig the tune of this one. In the song meanings comments, someone said that in a 2011 interview, Tuomas said that it was inspired by his sister having this hobby of parachuting, which is something that she just loved to do just because it was fun. And so he wrote the song with that same vibe, like the nightingale sings just because it wants to, because it's fun. The lyrics are, what does the free fall feel like, asks the boy with a spark in his eye. Know why the nightingale sings is the answer to everything. Taking a step to a world unbound, spinning my fantasies all around, freed from the gravital leash, I swear the heavens in my reach. I will try to find that interview. I need to actually like go through their interviews and try to find it. If I'm able to find it, I will link it down below, but basically whether that's true or not, I definitely get that vibe from this song. Like I feel like that definitely connects, that not everything you do has to be like for an express purpose or to make money. It can just be because you love it, and honestly I feel like we could really use a reminder of that. I could really use a reminder of that, like doing things just for the sake of doing them because they're fun. Okay, and then track 9 through 12 are the Loppy series, which is about the Finnish Laplands. I'm not gonna try to say the Finnish names again because I'm just gonna mispronounce it. Basically, it's the series of songs about the Lapland area of Finland. I will just read the translation, one of the translations that I found for this first one. Via a wilderness lake travels a lonely wanderer. In a pond, he sees a flock of swans crying for their freedom. The longing for the past echoes through the air as screams of eagles from the ever lake so safe. The journey continues beyond the mountains. And apparently the name itself translates to wilderness lake. This is interesting. I know there's a couple songs in which Thomas mentions swans, including Swanheart on Oceanborn. So we kind of see that little motif here. And then the second one is Witch Drums, which is just an instrumental. And then the third one is This Moment is Eternity. I also find it interesting that they have one called This Moment is Eternity, and then there's another one called The Forever Moment. I don't know if they're supposed to connect, but the lyrics to This Moment is Eternity are, day possesses no key here where the moon sheds the cold twilight. This moment is eternity. Land of beauty, cold and cruel. Fjeld chants echoing. Is that? I don't know. I don't trust these lyrics sometimes, honestly. Fjeld chants echoing, reflecting the melancholy. Trust the wind, trust the fires, call for the hermit of the night. Land of raven and bear, land of eagle and wolverine, dismal are the mirrors of a wolf. So this seems to be about Finland during the winter is what I thought, because it says day possesses no key here, where the moon sheds the cold twilight, this moment is eternity, like that part. Because they're so far north that during the winter it'll be dark like most of the time. So that's what it seemed like. And so there's so many beautiful things. Land of beauty, cold and cruel. So there can be cold and cruel as well as beautiful. Talking about the animals that are there and just, yeah, it's about Finland. And then part 4, which is the Etiainen one, is just vocalization, very beautiful. And then track 13 is Return to the Sea. So the first few verses of this song, I'm not going to read out all the lyrics, but it seems to be about harmony in nature. So it's about kind of the harmony that exists between creatures in nature. And then the mother at the end, it says, healed and happy she oversees. The mother, the tyrants return to the sea. And again, people have different interpretations of this in the comments, but I personally think the mother is Mother Earth and the tyrant is humans, kind of talking about if humans were to leave the earth, maybe. And when it says, sea drops foam, all empty human skulls, like maybe just kind of talking about how like we've destroyed nature and that we're not really thinking about it. And Mother Nature or Mother Earth would be happy if humans would return to the sea so that nature could exist in harmony, is what I got from it. We also get the sense that nature existed before us and it will continue to exist after us, kind of that we're just this blip and there's this thing that has its own cycles and harmony that we are disrupting, but it was there before and it'll be there after us. And then track 14 is Nightwish, the song. And this one seems to be connected to astral romance, specifically because in astral romance it says, the Nightwish I sent you centuries ago has been heard by those who dwelled in a woe. And they both also mention the bridal bed, but definitely I feel like maybe Nightwish is kind of a prequel to astral romance because it says that Nightwish I sent you centuries ago. And in this one it says, the bridal bed awaits us both. After the landscape of death I cross, before my sorrows I must die, a night wish I send through the starlight sky. So yeah, it's about these two lovers that can't be together or can only be together in death is kind of how I interpreted astral romance. So this is maybe that first person sending the wish to be with that other person through the sky, and then they get it sent. I don't know. I don't know exactly how it goes, but that's, I feel like they're definitely connected. And finally, we have the Forever Moments. Technically, track 16 is Etiainen again, the demo version, but we already talked about that. So we are just gonna do track 15, which is the Forever Moments. The song seems to be about the passing of time, but what's interesting is that it seems like things go backward in the examples given. So it says, the tick-tock of time allows me to see an authent to an echo. I think is the lyrics there. That's, I don't know what that is, but okay. New butterfly to a cocoon, the swan to ugly duckling, the lake to an ocean. The deep times awake as I can calm myself to yesterday. The flower has fallen its petals out of the petals. A cradle I will. Is this really right? Okay, yeah, no it is. My cradle rocks with the waves of time. The time of beauty will never be the same. Falling again has no man's knowing. Please take me with thee. Now I hear my mother from the deep sing me a lullaby of eternal sleep. With thou replant the plaster call, this and silence we seek to reborn. So yeah, it just is interesting. I'm not really sure what to make of that, like saying a new butterfly to a cocoon, the swan to an ugly duckling, like things are going backward. Also, that's another Swanheart reference right there. So it's maybe just saying something like beauty is fleeting, but that's kind of the only thing I can think of, but for why things would go backwards like that. Or maybe it could be about how beauty fades, or that time isn't linear and it's just like a cycle or something. Maybe. I don't know. That was my discussion. As always, love to discuss further in the comments. I don't know how much I'm gonna have to say about a lot of the lyrics, because there's a lot of lyrics that are just about like Disney or like fantasy worlds and things like that. Century Child and Once we're gonna have a lot to say, but I am making, as I said, a whole another video breaking down all the lyrics that I think are specifically about Daria. So we get a lot more of that later. But anyway, my favorites are Angels Fall First and Tutankhamun for sure. Those are like the strongest songs to me, and like honestly, these songs are still really good. Like, it's honestly crazy that this is their first album, because most of them are still like super strong, but in my opinion it just gets better from here. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day or night, and please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and leave a like and a comment, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.